Yeah.
I think it's a good transition to talk about our final topic here.
Yes.
James Gunn is developing, Gal Gadot claims to be developing Wonder Woman 3 with James Gunn, who is maybe not rebooting the entire DCEU after all.
Hey.
For those of you listening along, I'm currently massaging my temples because this makes me irritated.
Yes, and I'm angrily tapping my fingers.
So, ouch. Let's hear. When did I forget, when did Black Adam come out? Like last October?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
So last October, uh, Black Adam came out. It bombed. It was probably the last chance of keeping the DCEU going. Um, and while that was happening, they brought in James Gunn, and they quickly announced, Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck are out. Gal Gadot was announced later.
Mm.
Now, this PO'd a lot of the core fan base who had been enjoying the DCEU more than I had.
Yeah. Chinggis, okay.
And it made people question, like, why does the universe seem to hate Henry Cavill? Why is it this guy who is one of us, who is just a buff nerd,
Yeah.
deep down, who almost missed out being Superman in the first place because he was busy playing World of Warcraft when the call came in,
Yeah.
who actually read the Witcher novels and had notes?
Yeah.
He either played the novel or played the novels, read the
I
novels or
play.
watched the game.
I think he played video games. I think too. Yeah.
Yeah, might have. I mean, when he got the part, he might have read the novels. But
Yeah.
regardless, someone who's one of our people.
Yes.
Well, why can't the guy catch a break? Because you know that Amazon is not going to do Warhammer 40K justice.
No.
It's one of the reasons why I'm glad that BattleTech is as relatively obscure as it is, because I don't have to worry about Netflix ruining it with a low budget CGI movie or something.
Right. Yeah.
But I can't see Amazon being hands off enough to make this a good TV show for Warhammer.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is that I gave a lot of benefit of the doubt at the time to James Gunn and Warner Brothers. People who watched will recall that, because I'd
Yes.
basically gone along with the idea. Okay, you need a clean break. It's going to confuse. It's already. There are enough people out there already confused enough, wondering why isn't Iron Man showing up in Justice League? Because unless you're in the know, they're all just superheroes to you.
Yeah.
Um, but like Gal Gadot is mostly good as Wonder Woman. Like she was bad in Wonder Woman '84, but everything was bad in Wonder Woman '84.
Yeah. Yeah. That whole movie was just. Yeah.
But it's kind of nice seeing her again when I saw The Flash. So it's just like, okay, that's the end of it. We are clean break from the past because we don't want to confuse the people. We're throwing Henry Cavill under the bus, so because my vision is for a young Superman.
Uh-huh.
Okay, James, if you could stick to that story, I would give you a lot of, I gave you a lot of benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And then The Flash bombed horribly.
Yeah.
And then after, yeah, like since that announcement, we'll say they've had 4 DCEU movies, 5 if you count Black Adam.
Yeah.
Not a one has actually been any sort of success. Shazam 2, bomb.
Bombed. Yeah.
Black Adam, bombed. Uh,
Flash bombed.
Flash, one of the biggest bombs of all time.
Yeah.
Blue Beetle, I've seen projections of that one where it might make 30 million its entire U.S. domestic box office run.
Yeah.
That would be on the low end, but at this point, I would believe it. I would have thought that was impossible. I was expecting that to be like, okay, it might be like a baseline hit, like 100 million,
Yeah.
150 in the States, and then like another, double that worldwide.
Yeah. Yeah, a modest success, but no, it's probably gonna just bomb.
Bomb. Aquaman 2 sound like all indications make it sound like it's the worst of the movies from like just a technical level so far.
Yeah, and I've been hearing rumors too that they might push the release date back on that because of the strikes.
Yeah. But okay, but jerking around all of these actors who like the cast was never the problem with the DCEU.
Right.
Part of why the DCEU worked as well as it did is because you had all these actors who were putting their best into these performances.
Yeah. Although I'm still kind of wishy-washy about Ben Affleck.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
You kind of wish he'd. Or you may not wish this. I kind of wish he had gotten his own movie just to like really see what he could be.
Mm,
Oh, and of course, I'm leaving out Ezra Miller, who is I think is pretty universally seen as awful choice.
yeah. Yeah.
Unless you have a thing for non-binary people and defend them uh, automatically, which I have seen on Twitter.
Oh man. Yeah. And I will say like Jason Momoa was good as Aquaman, although I think in in reality he should have been playing Lobo.
Yep, from the start.
Yeah.
But like you've burned a lot of goodwill with these bomb movies,
Yeah.
and then and you also burned a lot of will with the core fan base who would have probably gone to see those movies if you hadn't told them, yeah, nothing matters, and we're gonna just jerk around Henry Cavill when he thinks he's coming back.
Yeah.
But at least if you treat everyone equally and everything is equally reset, then fair enough. You have a plan.
Yeah.
If this is accurate, the hell.
Yeah. Yeah, they're basically just throwing all that out, or it's just like, okay,
You do not have a valid reason to do this if the whole point was to avoid confusing the normies by keeping some of the actors around.
yeah, and yeah. So bringing Gal Gadot back is just like, yeah, it's gonna just completely throw everything out of whack.
And you could say, oh, but she was probably the best character. She was the one with I think the highest grossing solo movie besides Aquaman, which that was mostly people wanting to see him shirtless. So
Yeah,
let's be honest here.
yeah, pretty much. And Ninja says, I was about to say that Bruce Timm should have led the DCEU. Then I remembered the Killing Joke.
Yeah, probably Paul Dini would have been the better choice since he was like the writer of a lot of that stuff in the '90s
Yeah.
cartoons.
Yeah, I think Paul Dini was kind of like would have to rein Bruce Timm in a lot. Like, no,
Yeah.
can't do
Like,
that. No.
look, we know you're sexually obsessed with Barbara Gordon, but she has to wear a shirt in this scene. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'll show you when we adapt the Killing Joke. I'm
yeah,
gonna totally throw in an unnecessary romance subplot with Bruce and Barbara because I shipped that,
yeah.
and you
uh,
can't stop me.
yeah, yeah,
But this just seems like a bad choice to me all around.
yeah. I agree. Yeah, I mean, as much as I liked Gal Gadot as not just as Wonder Woman, but just in general. I mean, I've seen her in other movies, and she's been good in most of what she's done. But yeah, this is I think this is a mistake, and and I think it's can't remember who it was. If somebody at Midnight's Edge pointed this out, like she's pushing 40.
Hmm.
And to have a almost 40-year-old actress around a 20 something Superman just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, yeah, and because that's going to automatically make a different dynamic. Because like if there are superheroes who start at roughly the same time, that works.
Yeah.
If Wonder Woman has all these experiences, and she's like old enough to technically, yeah, not to be that actor's mother, but depending on how old they make the character's mother, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's weird. That makes her
Yeah.
the mom in the Trinity.
Yeah. I wouldn't like that. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully this is may just be nothing, or you know, maybe they'll, cooler heads might prevail and they won't do with it. James Gunn
there's
won't do this, but
there's also the chance that, because when I was reading this article, she says it's in development. Gal Gadot says, "I love portraying Wonder Woman." Gadot says, "It's so close and dear to my heart." From what I heard from James and from Peter is that we're going to develop a Wonder Woman 3 together. Okay. Um,
yeah.
while Gunn has seemingly been working towards a near total rebooting of the DC film action or live DC Comics live action universe, Gadot continued to be a presence in the latest films. She appeared in both Shazam: Fury of the Gods and The Flash, while Cavill was reportedly cut from the latter.
Mm,
Um, if he was, yeah, he was cut from like the end sequence of the latter where they were going to set things up,
okay.
because you don't want to have Superman around during the Flash scenes towards the start, because that would have it would have made the Flash unnecessary, since Superman. You remember the scene in Justice League where Superman could track the Flash at top speed and hit him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like Flash doesn't get to be Flash if Superman is on that level of speed.
Yeah.
But shortly after the initial Wonder Woman 3 news hit, Gunn has also shot down a fan who claimed that Gadot was booted from the Amazonian warrior role, which at the time suggested she may stick around for Gunn's retooled DC universe. It's also conceivable that he didn't like the way that was phrased.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can find the actual. I'm not sure where you're getting that we booted Gal. That's cryptic.
Yeah.
That could be booting is such a harsh word. We more invited her not to come back.
Yeah.
So she could be trying to play public relations games to make something happen, and he's just being stone faced about it.
Yeah.
That's also a valid interpretation.
That's
Kind of the
yeah.
interpretation I hope for, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. And it just says have her play Hippolyta if you really need her in the Guns
Now
DC universe.
that'll confuse people still, because she'll basically still be Wonder Woman if she's in Amazon. I feel like either clean
Yeah.
break or I don't know. There's not a good answer. And there's
Yeah.
been weird things about Superman, the new Superman movie, like Mr. Terrific is in it, Guy Gardner is in it.
Yeah.
This is that fanboy capture thing I've talked about before, where the DC universe in particular, it's a weird dichotomy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Marvel is mostly staffed at this point by people who do not like or care about the comic books. And like I think was it the director of WandaVision who said she didn't know how to actually read a comic? It was
Oh,
one of
really?
yeah.
What?
So yeah, so everybody who wasted time having theories about WandaVision based on the comics, she literally could not have included them.
Wow. Yeah,
Uh,
and I know the writer on either the writer or the director on Secret Invasion didn't read the comic books.
yeah, and it shows. It's like
Yeah.
Marvel. It's like yeah, and is it Marvel? Or I think it was Star Trek where they like, if you wanted to write on that show, you had to imply you had no memory or love for the series. But it's like a similar thing at Marvel, where it seems like the people who get in are not the people who know it. Conversely, over at DC, it's like you have the biggest fanboys in the world who've been elevated and aren't necessarily caring about making things that the average person would give a crap about.
Yeah.
Yeah, the average person just wants a Superman movie where Superman maybe punches Lex Luthor in the face, or maybe Zod, or um,
Yeah,
might give a
Brainiac
try to
or
do a Brainiac thing.
yeah.
They don't necessarily want a Superman movie to start off interconnected and with the Justice League, but but, but James Gunn, lifelong DC fanboy, uh, darn it, he wants Guy Gardner in the movie. He wants to make Creature Commandos. He wants to make, oh, geez, what a, he wants to make Swamp Thing.
Yeah, yeah.
God, it's
Uh,
just it's. Can we get a happy medium? Can we
it-
do like can we kind of have like what we had at Marvel, where you have directors like James Gunn who get like restrained a bit by the heads of Marvel.
yeah,
Like look, just have we can have Howard the Duck because it's kind of funny, but it can be in the ending credits. It's just
yeah. It's just-
yeah,
mm,
eh. This is why you guys are losing to Barbie
yeah,
because you're confusing people and annoying the core fan base.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
I thought they could afford to have a string of bombs, but I'm starting to think that because you PO'd the core fan base, you're not going to have a huge audience for this new Superman movie.
yeah. I think so too. Yeah. Well,
Which is a shame because James Gunn is a good superhero movie writer. He just keeps making strange choices.
yeah, yeah. He just yeah, like you were saying, he needs somebody to kind of go. Yeah, James, come on, come on. No, no, pull it back a little.
Oh God, I think that the way we'll know that that Superman movie is well and truly doomed,
Mhm.
um, if we hear any like sort of hype about the amazing mixtape soundtrack of that movie.
Oh boy.
Because I want to say they kind of did the same thing in his Suicide Squad movie, where there was like a very pop song infused soundtrack.
Uh, yeah. Well, that works for Guardians of the Galaxy, but not Superman.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
unless you want to just be like very different and make it like all country bluegrass to reflect his Kansas origin, which they're not going to do, I don't think.
No, no. Yeah.
Unlikely.
And yeah. And Ninja says James Gunn needs to make the best Superman film to have success. Yeah.
Yep. But we'll see how much goodwill he's torched. But being inconsistent with poor Henry Cavill over all this,
Yeah.
yuck.
Yeah. That's well, I think we've exhausted this topic.
Yes, this angry rant has been brought to you by the Critique Corner.
Yes.